Mike sent me this Fox Sports top 10 all-time Browns last night, and we wanted to talk about it for a couple minutes here on the show.
When did this come out?
It's in January. In January.
All right.
January 2nd is when this was
Fox
tweeted
Sports.
out.
No, like specifically? No. Okay. All right.
We can take it here, Steve. But it ranks Jim Brown number 1, Otto Graham at number 2, Lou Groza at number 3, Joe Thomas, Ozzie Newsome, Leroy Kelly, Dante Lavelli, Paul Warfield, Myles Garrett, and then Clay Matthews Jr. Is Myles Garrett a little too low on that?
I mean, listen, I've heard of all these guys, but half these guys played 1,000 years ago. All right?
My first thought when I saw this was, this is so sad.
Now listen, we got relatives of Lou Groza and Otto Graham that live. Like I know family members of theirs, and they were great players, but they were basically playing before black players were allowed to play.
Sport.
I mean, it was a different sport. Those days, those guys weren't the athletes like they are today. They were great players. It's hard to compare. I don't see how possibly Paul Warfield or Leroy Kelly were better players than Myles Garrett. But how the hell do I compare a defensive lineman with a wide receiver or a running back? Like, how do you even make that comparison?
What position did Lavelli play?
I honestly don't know. I know his name, but I should know that. I wish you wouldn't have asked me because now I'm like an idiot.
Ask who now?
What
Dante
position Dante
Lavelli.
Lavelli played?
Receiver.
He was a receiver?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that, to be honest. But Leroy Kelly was a running back. You know, Ozzie Newsome was a great player. He's a Hall of Famer.
Is he a better player than Myles Garrett all time?
I don't think so.
See, I don't either. And is Joe Thomas a better player all time than Myles Garrett was?
That's a debate.
I think there's a real debate there. I don't know how to necessarily answer.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, again, Otto Graham played in the 40s and 50s.
Jim Brown's one.
I mean, the reality is
Jim Brown one? I don't know.
people think Jim Brown was the greatest freaking football player of all time.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I don't know how would we debate Jim Brown versus Tom Brady? How do you even have how?
It's like the Will Chamberlain thing, man. Like these guys played so long ago that we just don't know. And he's been the best Brown forever, and so he probably will remain the best Brown forever.
Right. I don't know. I don't. There's really no facts to back any of these things up.
The reality is, and I love Joe Thomas, but like Myles Garrett probably ends up with a better career than Joe Thomas just because his what he does.
Longer.
And what he does is more impactful on a big stage.
Yeah, and offensive linemen there's no stats.
There's no stats to really say. I mean, Joe is one of the best left tackles to ever play this game.
Yeah.
But the pass rusher is sexier. So if Myles plays longer than Joe Thomas, and Myles is there's a good chance he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to find out.
Yeah, which is amazing because they went 3-14.
Yeah. Which tells you how valuable he is.
Yeah.
That list, whoever made it, good for. I don't know how to argue some of it, but when I
can't
look at
it.
like where Myles Garrett ranks on the guys that I know and I think I can compare it to, and it's really Newsome, Joe Thomas, and Myles in my opinion. Those three are the three that
modern era guys.
Modern era that I at least have some semblance of what they did. And Clay Matthews too, but I don't think he's in the same conversation with the other three I just mentioned there. Myles Garrett. Yeah,
Who?
Clay Matthews number 10.
Yeah, 10.
Myles Garrett has a DPOY to his name. Could potentially have two DPOYs to his name. As good as Joe Thomas was, there's not an Offensive Lineman of the Year award that ever
he would have won it.
I know, but it's
for a decade.
But I don't know how to judge.
It's impossible.
In and out. It's such a hard conversation.
Saying
such a
Joe
tough
Thomas
comparison.
is the only way to me to argue Joe Thomas versus Myles Garrett, and I'm not even sure this is a good way, is where does Joe Thomas rank all time in left tackles, and where does Myles Garrett rank all time in pass rushers?
Let me ask you
They're
this.
probably around the same point.
And you two watched way more Joe Thomas than I did, so I will defer to you guys. In your head, there's no right answer.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett lined up against Joe Thomas in 100 pass rush situations. How many times does he get to the quarterback?
Not many.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's a hard question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's, I guess, how in my head I'm trying to say. And I didn't watch him enough to know.
Here's what I would say comparing the two guys. And it's probably unfair, but I would say this. I think Joe Thomas in his career played at a consistently higher level than Myles Garrett, which is crazy, but that's what I think.
Week in, week out.
But Myles Garrett's highs are higher than Joe, which sounds silly.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Myles Garrett, and this, don't take us the wrong way. He can take plays off. Joe Thomas could never afford to take a play off. You can't, because you have to be, like you said, so consistent every snap, every pass, every time your quarterback drops back. however many times a game he does.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be on your A game. If you're a left tackle protecting the blind side,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, like, how many third downs are a game?
15.
Okay. Right. So, I mean, I'm not saying, like, but the big plays happen on those third downs, right?
Yeah.
Or in the red zone or wherever
Right.
you got to come up with those big plays where you can be like, okay, I'm going to conserve a little energy on first and second down because third down's coming up. Like, it's a reality.
If a pass rusher has 3 great plays in a game, people think he had a great game.
100%.
If an offensive lineman has 3 bad plays in a game, you think he had a terrible game.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to compare.
Yes.
It's nearly impossible. I mean, deciding who's a better NFL player between Myles Garrett and Joe Thomas is
it's just
I'd say
sad.
they're equal.
It's sad that we've had 2 modern day Hall of Famers in the last decade, and you have nothing to show for it.
No.
Nothing.
No.
At 2 pretty important positions, by the way, too.
Yeah, two of
Not the quarterback,
two of the highest
but-
paid positions.
And throw in 2 guys that played at a Hall of Fame level at times, Nick Chubb and Joel Bitonio, who I don't think either one's going to get in the Hall of Fame, but they're not far off. Perennial Pro Bowlers. And you have 1 playoff win for all those guys.
It's not enough.
That's it. It's sad.
Not enough.
Joe Vardon of The Athletic is going to join us. We'll switch gears back to the NBA or back to the Cavs specifically in just a minute. Go ahead, Anthony.
Joe's not here yet, but
Yeah.
here, let me. We'll get the read out of the way so
Yeah.
that when Joe's in, we can bring him right in.
Okay.
The Super Bowl 59, 1 game, 2 teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether you're predicting the first touchdown, who will take home the MVP trophy, or the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to place your bets and feel the thrill of every moment. With the live betting going all game long, you can jump into the action, adjust your bets, and ride the wave of excitement from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can get $200 when you make your first bet. Just place $5, and if you win, you'll get an extra $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/UCSS to bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59.
Thank you, Anthony. And like I said, Joe should be joining us shortly. We'll get back to it. We'll see what he thinks about the possibility of the Cavs being able to make any kind of significant trade.